Yesterday, I was hired in a very serious case against a major Philadelphia hospital involving an injury that I think is not known to most parents or most people. It's a birth injury to a baby, and it's called a brachial plexus injury. In this case, it resulted in what's called Erb's palsy, which is basically a paralysis or inability to move one arm due to nerve damage. And I figured I would talk a little bit about what brachial plexus is and Erb's palsy so that parents could know what that is. It's not the most warm and fuzzy topic, but I think it's important to know. So the cervical spine, which is the area of the spine up here, the top part of the neck, has a branch of nerves that come off of the spine up here called the brachial plexus. And it's a group of nerves that essentially branch down and outward on both sides, and they control all the nerves and nerve functioning in your arms and hands. And you need you need your nerves to work to be able to move your arms and your limbs, because the nerves they're channels that messages are sent from our brains to move our arms. That's how the nervous system works. Our brain sends a message to my left arm to move my arm, and that's what happens. And during birth, there are a lot of different ways that the doctors or providers can be negligent in being too traumatic and too rough in pulling out the baby in the birth canal when the baby is not positioned correctly to be pulled out. And what can happen is that can result in the shoulder being stuck and the baby's being pulled out by the head, but the shoulder's stuck. And if the provider doesn't know that or isn't prepared to handle it, it puts downward force on the shoulder. And if it's forceful enough, it can cause a rupture or tear of that brachial plexus nerve area here. And in this case that I just got hired on yesterday against a major Philadelphia hospital, this poor little kid is 8 months old and really has no meaningful movement in one of her arms. She's already undergone 2 surgeries to try to correct the Erb's palsy, but she can't even crawl yet. And according to mom, the doctor was in the room one time during the whole delivery and ran out of the room after her child was pulled out and injured. So it's a real shame, and doctors and providers should be trained on how to properly address delivering the child safely, but that doesn't happen all the time.